Hi, welcome to another video of the Target Individual Experience and the Target Individual Program. It's a brand new video from the one that I did, which is obvious. And I'm going to talk about how police create false flag operations to coincide with the targeting of TIs. Okay, so you guys see I've done plenty of videos of going to pick up my kids from school, and you always see police. They're always around. And this is the entrance to my son elementary school. This is Bedford Avenue, and the next block over is Flatbush Avenue. Now, there are always police cars parked upside there all the time, every single day, because they patrol both sides of those blocks, right? Flatbush Avenue, Bedford Avenue, because Erasmus High School is a pretty big high school. It stretches from Bedford, and you can walk along Church to Flatbush, and it ends there, or you can walk down Snyder from Bedford to Flatbush, and the school ends there. That's the high school. So it's a pretty big high school, okay? And there are always police cars on either side, every single day, all day. Okay, so I went to pick up my son yesterday from school. This was around, I left the house around 2:30, and I forgot he had chess, right? Usually on the Tuesdays, I forget, because with all the targeting that's going on, sometimes I do forget that he has chess on the Tuesday. So I went to pick him up early, not realizing that, hey, he had chess. He's in the chess club. So anyway, started walking down the block, turn onto Bedford, heading towards Church Avenue, going past Erasmus High School to my son's elementary school. And I noticed all this police presence, fire trucks, all of that stuff, just a whole lot of noise, right? So I'm walking towards Snyder, and then I have to make the right to go into the schoolyard where they let the kids out. And these two police officers were standing at the corner. And immediately when they saw me, they started to walk towards me. So at that point, because I had my phone in my hand, I lift up my phone to start recording, and immediately they turned around. Okay? But because it was going to look so obvious what they were doing, they tried to play it off. And I'm going to start the video from where I started recording them. Oh, look at they turned. Look at they turned. They saw me coming. They were about to walk up towards me. And then they okay. So you see all that turning around stuff? That's because initially when I started recording them, they turned around quick, fast, okay? But again, they don't want to make it look so obvious. So all of that right there is them trying to play it off. And you're going to see one of those police officers, one is going to, he had his back turned because, of course, when they participate in these things, this is a crime that they're doing, and they don't want to be recognized, okay, for one. Because like I said, I've had police officers who were engaged in harassing me, and they had black tape over their badge number. Okay. It's too late now. Now, what happened during the time right before I left the house? Apparently, there was a shooting. An 18-year-old got shot. Okay. Now, again, not on the Bedford side of the high school, but on the Flatbush side, which is the front, right? And like I said, okay, police officers are always there all day. There's police vehicles parked up. There's police sitting inside their vehicle. Shit, you see videos that I've done. I'm driving on Flatbush Avenue, going past the high school. There's police cars parked up there. So the fact that in broad daylight, okay, after the high school got let out, a person got shot. Okay, no one was arrested. At least they didn't give any detail in the news articles that was reading. Okay, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. Okay. Now all of this is way after the shooting occurred. Okay, way after the shooting occurred, because I didn't even hear any gunshot. Right. So if I was walking to the school and somebody that shot a gun, I would have heard it. Okay, so this happened way before, and the fact, like I said, there's always police officers on Flatbush and on Bedford, because again they use them as part of my targeting. They use them to harass me and stuff like that. And so the fact that you had a shooting in broad daylight with plenty of police around, okay, and there's no mention of whether they got any suspect in custody. All the police is saying that they're investigating to see if it's gang related. Normally when there's a shooting and there's a suspect, they will tell you and mention there was a suspect, okay, or they have a suspect in custody, or they're looking for a suspect. There is no mention of that in the news article, and I'm going to show one of the news article. So let's type shooting on Flatbush Avenue on, let's put in the date, 2/27/18. Okay, so as you can see, this is the block that my son's school is on. This is Snyder Avenue, and this is Bedford. Okay, so let's look at the article and what it says. A man was shot today in the vicinity of Flatbush and Church Avenues, causing streets to be closed and putting schools on lockdown. The incidents occur sometimes before 2:45 p.m., said an NYPD spokesperson. Police would only confirm that the man was shot and is likely to survive. Nearby schools went into lockdown and police taped off roads nearby after the shooting. An employee at Pier 6 confirmed the school went on lockdown, but couldn't elaborate as to when or how long. Okay, so that's one article. All right. There was another story here. Let's see if it was this one. Okay, so where's the news articles, right? Where is, except for this one article from Bruckner, you don't see any other newspaper article in terms of what happened. And it was, I mean, you see the amount of police, well, you really don't see it in the video that I have, but there was a large police presence, a very, very large police presence. Okay. And let me play the rest of this video. Yeah, all the noise. Now, again, as you know, they start to walk off now.
Moving. Look at them.
Okay. So this whole block, they had tape over here.
Block. And of course, now they have all the commotion going on. This is the retaliatory.
And this is where I go to pick up my son.
They do.
Okay.
This is all stage. All stage, all of it.
Okay. Now you hear me say it's all stage, right? And it is, right? People won't believe that this government, some of these police departments, the FBI, would stage such things. Okay? But again, listen to what I'm saying. Right? There is always a heavy police presence every single day around these schools, particularly the high school, Erasmus High School. Always police presence. Okay, so what happened yesterday? What did they had something to do? They all went on lunch. And again, this is in broad daylight, right? This person, this 18-year-old kid, got shot in front of the high school. He kept walking, and there's another article on there, but where they interviewed this guy, and the guy was like, he saw him bleed, and he asked him, "Are you okay?" And the kid was like, I'm okay," and he walked towards Snyder at the intersection between Snyder and Flatbush and collapsed. Okay? Again, there is always a heavy police presence in front and behind that school. So you want people to believe, well, people don't know, but you want me to believe that someone got shot, you have no suspect in custody, and they did it in front of a school that had heavy police presence surrounding that school every single day. This shit don't sound right. Okay? Now, every time I do a video after they've been heavily bombarded me with harassment and subliminal message and stuff like that, and when I do my video, okay, and particularly if it's a very good video, when I say good, meaning that I have good video footage of the type of harassment that they're doing, they've done, and I upload it onto YouTube about 10 to 15 minutes later, maybe half an hour later, after they finish watching the video, there is sirens everywhere. So yesterday I'm thinking, well, hey, I guess they don't like the video that I put up. I guess I hit on some things that was pertinent. And so when I heard all the sirens before I left the house, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm doing something good. I guess I'm doing my job. No, again, I had done that video and I uploaded the video about an hour before I went to, maybe a little long. I think I finished like around after 12. So maybe about an hour and a half before I left to go and pick up the kids from school. So let's say half an hour later, which was like about 1 o'clock, the video was uploaded, and all the sirens was going off. So let's say that the shooting took place, about 1 o'clock or a little after 1. Let's say 1:15, 1:20, because that's when all the sirens and what's going off and stuff like that. So I don't go to pick up my son until 2:30. That's when I leave to go to his school to pick him up, and then immediately after picking him up, I walk over to my daughter's school, pick her up. And so let's say the shooting again occur 1:15, 1:20, which leaves about an hour before a little over an hour before I go pick up my kids from school. Yet, when I left the house at 2:30 to go pick up my kids from school, walking down Bedford Avenue, you hear what you heard and what you saw in the video. The police cars, the noise, the two officers approaching me as I was walking towards me as I was getting closer to Snyder Avenue. I took up my phone. They immediately turned around, but when they realized, it's going to look too suspicious, they start to, wander around. You see them turn in, and again they try to play it off. Okay. So, in all of the news report, no mention of a suspect. Only thing is that the 18-year-old shooting victim, is going to survive, and that's it. Okay? That's it. So, it's mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling to me. And they would do shit like this. Whether this kid was intentionally part of the whole false flag, and these people will do shit like that. They will put themselves in danger, and they will do shit like that, because they're dedicated to this cult and cultish behavior and cultish belief that they're and the cult that they're in. Okay, and especially it's like, hey, you're gonna survive. We need you to do this. Okay, you're helping the cause. We need you to do this. They'll do it. They will do it. Okay, because like I said, that don't sound right to me. This shooting don't sound right to me. Okay, I'm not saying that the person didn't get shot, because the person did, but I'm just saying, right in broad daylight, in front of a high school where there's always a heavy police presence, someone gets shot, and there's no mention of a suspect in custody, a suspect at large, only that the victim is going to survive. Okay? And they lock down the schools, they lock down the block. So to me, I'm like, okay, what's really going on here? And when I got home, I was going to post these videos and I was going to say something totally different, but I said, you know what, let me wait, let me see when the news report comes out what happened before I do this video. And now that I've seen two news reports, one I showed you here, again, no mention of a suspect. And sometimes, they'll do this, for the sake of security, because maybe they want to start putting cameras, on the street around the school, or all around the neighborhood. Like I said, they constantly have surveillance cameras in front of the school. They constantly have surveillance cameras. That's surveillance camera, but surveillance vehicle, like command centers, like big ass command centers, okay, parked up alongside this high school. And you would think that there's some really heavy drug organization that these kids are in within the school, because to have command centers and surveillance centers, vehicles parked up there, and I always question it. I'm like, why is there these type of vehicles there? And the sad thing about it is that as black people, we walk past this every single day, and no one ever questions. No one bring up these things. You go to certain neighborhoods with the school kids are majority white. You don't see this shit, and that's where all these mass shooting take place. They don't take place in the schools that are majority black, right? Or school that have people of color, majority people of color. You don't see that in those white, predominantly schools where they are majority white students. But yet, that's where all the mass shootings takes place when it comes to school shooting. You gotta think about that. Think about that. Okay? So, anyway, after realizing that my son he had chest, I went to pick up my daughter. And he came back to the house, went back, pick up my son, and then, we came in, gave my daughter dinner. Pam came in. She had to take my son to King's Plaza to get his glasses, a new glasses frame. And she came back, and they started microwaving us. Okay? Again, her doing these hand signals, particularly when, and this case, they try to be very sneaky about it. Okay? So, whereas before, like I said, the other day, she kept coming in and out of the living room, just walking in, standing in front of me, turn around, and walk back out of the living room. And so I left, because I'm like, okay, we're being microwaved, and, I don't want to cause any arguments or anything like that. So let me bounce. Okay? And then last night, she came in, she sat down on the couch next to me, and she was talking to me. And, we had a discussion, what have you. And then, she started scratching her chin. But she was doing it, in a way, and just doing it on the side of her face where when she scratched it, her palms would face towards me. So it would be, let me see here, like this. Right? And she was doing that multiple times. And again, that's a fixation drill, because when she started doing that, it was like I was fixated on her palm of her hand. Okay? And at that point, I was like, okay, now they're trying to subtly send me subliminal message using these type of fixation drill. Because other times when she's walking past me, she'll turn her hands backwards to where I will see her palm, or she'll place it right on her back, her lower back, with her palm facing towards me. So at that point, I was like, okay, let me get out of here, because I'm being microwaved. We're being microwaved. And again, I don't want to start an argument. So I was like, listen, I'm going home. And that was that. So now, this is what they do. Okay, and everything I said is premeditated, it's pre-planned. And as she was doing all of that, again, police sirens going off in the background. So I left and went downstairs, and
microwaving.
Our favorite perp across the street, guy in the building, was on his steps.
The perp, talk about the perp that lives
across the street.
Building.
From her building, not her building.
So the minute I told her I was going home,
and he was just, when I came out the building, he was just standing there. Okay? Then when he turned and he looked and he saw that I was recording, okay? Then he picks up his bag that he had resting on the steps and decided, okay, well, now I'm going to go in my building. But he was just standing there because I saw him as I exit out, as I was reaching the door to exit out the building, he was just standing there. Just standing there. He wasn't looking for his keys or nothing like that. He was just standing there. And immediately as I started crossing the street to go to the car, he saw that I was recording. He started walking inside. And you may not be able to see him in the video because it's pretty dark.
Go with the back theme.
Okay?
Waiting for me to come downstairs so you can go in his house. You know, he had his bag down across the street. He picked up his bag using the bag theme.
Right. So, I mean, again, you know, this is the stuff that they do. This is exactly what they do, you know. And so, okay, so after I got in the car, drove off, I called my brother, we were talking, and along the way, there were a heavy police presence. And, you know, I called my brother to, you know, just tell him what was happening, what, you know, during the day, early and stuff like that. And what I probably should have done is just, you know, instead of calling him then, I should have waited until I got home. I should have just recorded me going home last night, because I would have had some excellent footage of when I talk about heavy police presence along the way. Yeah. Okay. And so as I turn onto Union Street, and I was going up Troy, I turned onto Union Street. Immediately as I turned onto Union Street, there was a police SUV vehicle. And immediately as I turned the corner, because there was no other car in front of me, they started driving off. So at that point, I was like, I told my brother, I was like, okay, listen, you know what? Actually, I was speaking to Alda, because I had called my brother first, and then I ended up calling Alda after, who was another TI. So I said, listen, I'll call you back. I'm going to try to see if I can record this. So as I approached the intersection, because they had made the left, the police vehicle had made the left. As I approached the intersection, and I turned the recorder on,
this police car that was parked.
There was a perp that was walking up, right? And immediately when he saw me hit that phone, I guess, you know, the recording, he turned around, walked across the street, and walked back in the opposite direction. Okay? So he was coming towards me, but when he saw me hit that button on the phone, he walked across the street. And I'm going to tell you the reason why he did that. It was to tip the police off, the police vehicle that was in front of me, to let them know that, okay, he's recording, you guys need to get out of here fast. All right?
On the block, that when I turned the corner, they started to drive off. See, another perp now, he's going to go warn them. There's a perp walking up, and he sees me turn on the, I guess, press the button on the phone, so he turns around and walk back across the street and walk back in the opposite direction. But I'm trying to see if I can catch this police car. Let's see if he's going to still be around. Okay. All right. So you see the what's that? Lights down there. So they've been, you know, harassing me pretty heavily, you know, for the past couple of days. And again, and I'm heading home because again, I'll be in microwave and you know, using Pam to send me subliminal message again, you know, but.
All right. So they had already left. Okay. I mean, it's obvious, but you see a block over, there was an ambulance parked up with just the lights flashing. Again, that's all part of their standard operating procedure when it comes to targeting me. So the use of the police with the use of ambulance, sending these type of subliminal threats, and of course the ambulance is parked a block away, right? Because again, not to make it look obvious to what they're doing. All right.
I'm gonna be very subtle and very sneaky about it.
Okay, so let's speed up.
And call another TI, and I leave to go home along the way. Okay, and I'm sure tomorrow morning when I leave, there'll be tons of police cars on my way back to Pam's house because.
Okay, listen to that. What I just said. All right. Now,
See,
The next morning, which is today,
I knew it.
got in the car, trying to get out of the parking space, and the first car that passed by, again, it's synchronization, is a police vehicle right here. Okay? So I usually,
See,
I was like, there you
knew
go.
it. So as soon as I pull out of the parking space, again with the
But I was pulling out of the
synchronization,
parking space.
police car, drove by. That's the police car in front of this white SUV, and he is speeding, boy, because I'm coming up behind him again.
Yeah, he was driving really fast.
They don't want to,
Okay? He was driving really fast. Now, the speed limit is 25 miles an hour. And I would say he was doing between 40 and 50. That's how fast that he was going when he saw me coming up behind.
get caught showing that, hey, they are harassing.
Now,
So
watch what he
he's-
does as I got closer to him.
He's gonna run the light. Of course he is.
Yeah, because you know why?
Because
They don't want the license plate of that vehicle being on video. Okay? See, they know what they're doing. They'll adjust their targeting. Okay? Like I said, particularly when I start to record the targeting and I'm showing a pattern, they will adjust their targeting to not let me get any more video footage that will show there is a long-term pattern that's happening here. So they're going to adjust their targeting. For example, like I said, with this police vehicle here, as I got closer, because the light is red, okay, and he's just going to take it.
I have them recorded. So he
And they know I'm recording.
Okay. And
They know.
Again,
Okay.
it's because
So let me fast forward here because there's a couple of things that's going to be happening here. And okay, so
when people don't show
yesterday,
genuine
because of the
general-
school shooting, I guess they're going to have a police car parked up in front of this school, which I rarely see. If not at all.
concerned about you, people who say that they love you and they care for you, whether it be friends, family members, significant other, then you have to kind of rethink that relationship. Okay.
And let me just
You have to-
let me mute this. Okay, so you see this guy at the bus stop? Okay. Now, I want you to watch the action. Okay. All right, let's let the light change. He's gonna go like this to me as he walks up. See the hand movement? Okay, you're gonna see that again. Okay, let's see here. Now watch as I approach this light. I see this guy in the corner. Watch this guy coming over here. So they feed off of each other. Look. As he crosses, he's gonna approach. He's gonna come over right here. Come on, there you go. As this guy approaches, he's looking at him. He's looking at me. Let's go back. See, they take clue from each other. They work in tandem. How they trying to send a subliminal message. He's gonna walk closest where I can see him. He's gonna look at me, and he's looking at him. He looks at me again, He looks back at him. Okay, now this is interesting, right? So I'm gonna pause this. See this lady here walking with this kid? As I approach, she literally points at me. She literally takes her finger and points at me. Okay? Tell you, unbelievable. Unfriggin' believable. Right? Now, as I there we go. Let me okay. As I turn onto Flatbush, you're gonna see a perp on the opposite side. He's doing this, okay? And when he sees me, okay, because now, again, trying to silence me, okay? So whether they're doing this or this, it's to silence me. Okay, tell me, don't talk about what we're doing. Just shut up. Be quiet. Okay, so now I'm on Ham's block. Okay, and I'm gonna end the video here, but I just want to say this. Okay, that it is important. It's vital that we expose this. It doesn't matter what people may say, may think about us, because we all know they're gonna use the crazy mental illness label, because that's what the program is designed to do. It is designed to make you look crazy or to have you diagnosed with a mental illness. And it's not to say that what they're doing don't affect you psychologically, because it does. Okay, being implanted with a microchip for experimentation purpose, for the study of remote neuromonitoring, being brainwashed, conditioned, okay, against your will, being put into a coercive persuasion program, being set up and victimized and villainized within your community and other communities at large, being labeled as some sort of security risk or some sort of threat to society or to your peers, all to the sake of trying to discredit you, okay, from ever coming forward to speaking about what's being done. Okay, and you shouldn't let that stop you. You see how they try to silence me? They always threaten my kids to do this to my kids. They're microwaving us. using my kids to target me, to try to silence me. Sometimes when I go pick up my kids from school, both my kids, they will do things that are in sync, okay, or the same thing one after the next. Like, for example, Thursday, I went to pick up my son from school. We were walking back. As we're walking back, heading to my daughter's school, he looks up and he's like, "Daddy, look, it's an airplane, it's an airplane, it's an airplane." And he keeps repeating it. So I'm like, okay, that's good. All right. Go pick up my daughter. And we're walking back. And my daughter did the same thing. She looks up in the sky and she's like, "Look, Daddy, it's an airplane, it's an airplane, it's an airplane." And she kept repeating it over and over. Again, when my kids do that, I know they have been conditioned that the technology, whether it be the silent sound spectrum or microwave mind control technology, it's probably the same thing too because it's all microwave. But the microwave technology and mind control is being used on my children to target me. Okay? Another example would be when I go pick up my son from school and he sees me, the first thing he'll do is stick his fingers in his ears. Then I go pick up my daughter, and the first thing she sees me that she'll do is stick her fingers in the ears. And my daughter teacher, because I have to walk into the classroom, so there's a teacher and a teacher's assistant. They'll both look at her after she does that, and then look at me. Okay? And so, again, you have people who are educating our children who are part of this. Okay? And we're not with our kids when they're in school, for whether it be the 6 or 7 hours that they're in school. Okay? And again, they're conditioning our children, in a way that will have long-term negative psychological effect on their psyche. Okay? So I just wanted to say that as a target, you have to be diligent in your children's life. If you have kids, to, as they get older, to let them know that this is going on, and when people start acting strange in front of them, or people try to isolate them and not be their friend, try to bully them, that a big reason for this is because they're trying to use them to get to the parent, the TI. Okay? And you have to be honest with your kids about that, and to give your kids strength. Give them a belief system that, you know what, if no one wants to talk to you, that's their loss. You just keep doing what you need to do, okay? And know that you're a leader and not a follower, and those are followers, and you don't need to be around them. Okay? You need to associate yourself with people who are leaders, people who don't follow the crowd, people who have an independent mind, people who think critically, okay? And people who will not participate in these types of behaviors. Okay?